Ms. Jackson, you've dragged your ex-boyfriend to court to prove he fathered your 26-year-old daughter, Tanika.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim he's denied her since birth because you were caught in a love triangle with him and his wife.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
1 week ago, you reopened your child support case in which you state Mr. Brown owes you $20,624.08.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you and your wife claim you can't be the father because you were on the road for 3 months during the time of conception.
That's true, Your Honor.
You've basically taken care of your daughter alone.
That is
Yes,
not
Your
true,
Ms.
Your
Jackson.
Honor.
Yes.
That is not true.
My daughter and my son.
Ms.
I've
Brown,
been taken care of.
your entire life you were told that Mr. Brown was your biological father?
Yes, Your Honor, I was. Well, by Mr. and Mrs. Brown, they told me different stories that he might not be my father, but my mother always told me that.
She already
And
knows
so
who
why,
it
after
is.
all these years, why do you reopen the child support case?
Cause she don't,
Because,
cause my
Your Honor,
husband don't want her.
It's still going on.
She's still
For
after my
26
husband.
years, it's still been going on. These people been denying my daughter for 26
She don't know who her daddy
years.
is.
26
Your
years
Honor.
they've been
Hold
denying
on.
my...
Ladies, give me a minute so I can process this. I want to understand how this all started.
I
My
did
husband don't
start-
want
I
her.
met him at the club, Your Honor.
The club.
I met him at the club, and we started talking, we started dancing. He told me he'll be back. And when he left with his wife, Miss Brown. I asked him who she was. He told me if she was just a friend. So he came back to the club.
That night?
That night. We danced, we partied, and then we went to the apartment.
Is that an apartment?
Not
Yes,
mine.
it was
No, that's a
apartment.
lie. That's
it was
a lie.
apartment, Your Honor.
It wasn't
Whose
my
apartment?
It was
No.
their apartment. We was in the back of the room. She came in the door. She said, "Come on out, let me talk to you." She left, and then later on, we were still in the apartment. I didn't know that he was dating her because he told me that they had broke up.
So you're at the apartment with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
having sex,
Yes, Your Honor.
unprotected. You
Yes.
say Ms. Brown walks in.
Yes,
And
Your
you remember it being Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Did you ask him why was she coming over here then while I'm at your apartment?
That was my apartment, Your Honor.
No, I didn't. That
So
wasn't
Ms.
no-
Brown, what happened?
Me and the wife was having problems. It was much later when I caught her in the house with him. The first time I caught them together was at the club. Like I couldn't find him anywhere. So I walked around the parking lot looking, he wasn't out there. He wasn't in the club. I said, well, there was one place he could be because his car was still outside. So I knocked and knocked on the door, the bathroom. So I knocked and knocked. I said, Dwight, I know you're in there. I said, open this door. He cracked it a little bit. So when I pushed it on open, she in there, done him in the bathroom. But I told her, I said, you can go.
So you find him in the club in the bathroom.
Yes, ma'am.
And you pop the door open.
Yes, Your Honor.
They're in there.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
what happens during this confrontation?
Okay, I told her, I said, you can go. It ain't about you. I got him. So I jumped on him. I let her leave. She walked out. After that, this was some months later, when I got to my apartment, I unlocked the door with the key. So at that point, I had sliding walk-in closets. I heard my closet door slide open.
You could hear it.
Yes, ma'am. And I heard somebody drug the bed and went in the closet. I said, oh no. When I got inside, I went right to the closet, opened the door. She standing up there naked, had my man in my house. So even, he kept fooling around with her, like you say, going back and forth. So
you knew that he kept an affair going with her?
Yeah, off and on, yes. Oh,
So
yeah.
were you all married at this time?
Me and Mr. Brown had been together for about 3 or 4 years when he started messing with her.
I want to go back to the point where you realized you're pregnant.
We had moved. We moved to Albany, Georgia. Back and forth, he was telling me that he had to come to Jacksonville to take care of business, which wasn't no business, it was being with her.
Exactly right.
And then he
Exactly
came
right.
back one time. I told him that I had a miscarriage. He stated to me, Your Honor, said that don't worry about nothing. We would try to have another child. I told the next time, I told him that I was pregnant. I took the test. I told him I was pregnant. We went to the clinic. The doctor has stated to me and him that I was pregnant.
So you went together. Mr. Brown, do you remember going with her to the clinic?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Do you remember being in a relationship with both of them at the same time, back and forth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do. Were you sleeping with both of them without protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why do you deny that Tanika is your daughter if you know you've been with this woman over a span of time?
Well, Your Honor, I've seen too many things happen. Like one morning, I thought she was at work. Come to find out, she was out with another man.
Well, was she supposed to be committed to you when you were committed to her?
Yes, we was kind of like staying together.
Oh, so at that point, you and Miss Jackson were living together?
And we was staying together.
Okay.
This is what I'm tired of going through. This is not
And then
about
the time
their
she supposed to
relationship,
have
their relationship.
conceived.
I don't care nothing
What she said at the time she supposed
what
to have
they had
conceived
going on.
Tanika,
This is not
he
about
was in
them
Jacksonville
two.
with me.
This is about me. This is about me finding the DNA test, not them.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
During the time she got pregnant with this girl, he was in Jacksonville with me. He told me he hadn't been home in 2 months, Your Honor.
Just
Honor, we
He
back
was
and
with me.
forth, back and forth.
Your Honor.
okay, and so when he
During the time-
was away and with Ms. Brown, were you with anybody else?
No, I was in Albany,
Yeah.
Georgia. I was staying
And
with
during
my
that
mother's
time,
sister.
Your Honor, when
he'll
she-
come to Georgia on Friday, and he'll leave that Friday evening and go and back to Jacksonville to her. Back and forth, back and forth, back and
When he
forth.
came to stay at my house, he stayed with me about 2 weeks. He said after he left me, he didn't even go home for another month.
that's a
so
lie, Your
Tanika
Honor.
was
Wait a minute,
supposed
so
to be-
you don't think the timeline adds up?
She was supposed to have been born 3 months later than what she was born if he would have been there. He had been gone for 3 months, but instead she was born 3 months earlier. And every time, Your Honor, we asked her for a paternity test, she get mad.
Why do you think she's avoiding the test?
Because she knows it's not his daughter.
At the point you find out you're pregnant,
Yes, Your Honor.
you tell him.
Yes,
You guys go together.
Yes, Your Honor.
From that point on, was he acting like Tanika was his child?
Yes, Your
Was he
Honor.
excited about the
Yes,
child?
Your Honor. He named her Tanika Lachey Brown.
Was he at the hospital when she was born?
Yes,
No,
so
he wasn't. No, he
came
wasn't.
in the hospital, Your Honor.
He
and
wasn't there when
asked
she was
me-
born.
He asked me where she was. The nurse brought her back in the room. He put the robe on her and he fed her. Not only that, Cajun, when she was born, he's shoot pool. He came by the
No,
house
she know
and
he
he
want
dressed
a
her
girl
up.
so bad.
He dressed her and carried her to the pool hall with her. He was happy with his daughter.
Did you take her around places with you, Mr. Brown?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor.
Your
She
Honor.
asked your last name.
Yes, Your Honor.
That he
Your
didn't
Honor.
give her.
Yes.
'Cause he said he did
took-
not sign her
Excuse
birth
me,
certificate.
Your
So that's what I want to know.
No, he said, I asked my husband over and over again, did you sign the birth certificate? When Tanika
Your
was
Honor, I
born,
don't know.
Your
I didn't
when
sign no
let me tell you
papers.
something else that they didn't tell you, Your Honor. When Tanika was born, another man was on her original birth certificate as her father, not my husband. Miss Jackson was married at the time.
Wait a minute now, Miss Jackson. When did you get married in there?
She was married all the
She was
time.
still married.
When she
I
was
got-
messing with him.
Your Honor, I got married, but I got it.
She
my
was
husband
still
got it
married.
alone because he went to Georgia and got married to another
They
woman.
put the other
which
man's
the judge
name on the
said
birth
that was
certificate.
bigamy.
Her husband's name
He
was on
felt
her
when
birth
we was
certificate.
going together, he know because at that time we was seeing each other. We were seeing each other.
You
me
were
and
seeing Mr. Brown?
Yes.
I have proof that Mr. Brown signed my birth certificate.
I'd like to see that. Ron, will you hand me the evidence, please? This is a copy of your
My birth certificate.
That's the birth certificate that's a fake, Your Honor. That is a fraud. Her mama been lying to her, and she's sitting here and believing her.
No.
So
But
wait, on this birth
He
certificate,
named-
it does say Dwight Stanley Brown.
He named
didn't
me
sign
and he
that.
spelled the name.
He was with me during the time
spelled
that
my
birth
name and
certificate.
named me.
This
Now,
the
I
second
do
birth
not
certificate.
see a signature on this birth
Because he
certificate,
did not
though.
sign
Because I
it.
didn't sign it.
He did not sign it.
Is that why you're saying she kept avoiding the DNA
That's
test?
right, Your Honor. That's right. I want to go to the board, Your Honor, and show you something from my maid.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, the first time, it was 1990. I paid money to have a test done for her. She didn't show up. Again, the summer of 90. She said, let me keep calling me. That's an insult about DNA testing. Every time
true,
we ask
Your
her
Honor.
something. Same thing in 1992. Okay, then we went to Miss Jackson again. Went up to the lab again to get DNA testing. I paid my money, okay? My husband didn't pay child support. Your Honor, I did. I took care of her.
That's true.
This story is so...
Dramatic, isn't it?
And she
Well,
said-
it's just...
and she never came to me.
This whole thing, Honor.
No, that was one word, but I wasn't going to use that word, but that one applies.
You know, ever since this one, the last one, y'all, in 2002, we went with Jackson again. She told us to stop
No,
calling
Your
her,
Honor.
asking her
No.
about a DNA
No,
test.
Your Honor.
All right, your feeling is that you keep asking her for this DNA test over a span of 12 years,
And she would
she's
not
avoiding it
But now, all of a
purposefully.
sudden, now she want a DNA test now. Okay, I was more than glad to come
And
here.
you're saying he's paying child support for
He
the child.
He have already,
Let me see that, Ron.
paid $4,000 and
me, Ron.
$800.
And you don't believe he's the father.
No, ma'am. That's the money that he have paid for child support that she said he was never on child support. He never did nothing for her.
You believe she's avoiding the DNA test because she's
ma'am.
getting this money.
I figured that she did that because she know that Tanika's not my husband's daughter.
I'm the one that wanted the DNA test because I got tired of going through this for 26
And
years.
her mama
I can
had-
imagine, hon.
Her mama
And I've
had
been
to-
going
only
through this
imagine.
triangle for 26 years now, and I'm very tired. I don't care about what they went through. I care less. I just want to know if he's my father.
Miss Jackson, why not get it over with so she doesn't have to be 26 years old standing here in tears today?
Your Honor, I have a piece of paper I'd like to present.
I would like to see that. Ron, can you hand me the evidence, please? What is this, ma'am? This is a document signed by Dwight Stanley Brown.
Yes.
This is an acknowledgement of paternity.
That's not my husband's signature.
Signed the 24th day of
No, but
September,
he did write
1990.
he did write
Yes,
his
Your Honor.
name. That is not my husband's signature there.
Ron,
There go right there, Dwight, on
hand
screen.
this to Mr. and Ms. Brown and let them
I
look
can
at
see
that
that
signature.
from here. That is not my husband's signature.
Is that your signature, sir?
No, Your Honor. It's
Yes,
not.
Your Honor. That's his
Yes.
signature.
Ron, take this pen, and I want you to have Mr. Brown sign that sheet of paper right above. I want to see your signature.
And you can look on his driver's license, Your Honor, and tell what his signature is. He didn't sign that. That is not his signature on that. And I'm forward some old documents too, like she did that birth certificate.
Thank you. This is substantially similar to me.
If it's my signature, I wouldn't misspell my own name.
It's D.
Where do you see it's misspelled?
Right up there where the L and the E is.
Remember, you're under oath. I want to know the truth. I'm looking at these two signatures, and they are very, very similar.
No, Your Honor, I didn't sign it.
Yes, you did. Honor, yes, he did sign that signature.
Do you remember executing a series of paperwork at the child support office? There.
It never did happen. Because when I went in that office, the lady met me and she told me like this: we are for the mothers and not the fathers.
I was with him.
And then I left out the door.
No, you wasn't.
She wanted child support, but she wasn't willing to give him a paternity test. But she was
I didn't never deny
But she
y'all
wanted him.
Well,
child
at this
Return to
point,
the
with
point.
an acknowledgement of paternity
know.
executed in 1990, she really didn't need one.
My husband said he
When
had
you
never-
acknowledge
my husband said
paternity-
he has never signed any
Yes, Your Honor,
documents.
yes, he did.
And I believe my husband.
Then
But
your
I know what
husband
kind of
lied
woman Miss
then.
Jackson
He
is.
lied to you.
And I will stick by my husband, and I
He lied
believe
to
what
you.
my husband said.
But Miss Brown, let me ask you this, because you keep saying this woman, this kind of woman, this kind of woman, this kind of woman. It's your husband's kind of woman. He been with her all the time.
I understand that too. I understand that too.
It's the same lady. Same lady that's in your closet, same lady that's behind the bathroom door.
Yeah.
It's the same lady. But that doesn't mean that Tanika is not your husband's
Well,
biological
that's
child.
all I ever wanted to know, Your Honor. Well, that's his daughter.
That's
Your Honor.
why we're here.
Yes, ma'am.
Ron, the envelope, please.
Yes, ma'am.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Brown versus Brown, when it comes to 26-year-old Tanika Brown, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are her father.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Mama ain't got the lie.
And you knew that. You knew that. Are you all right, Tanika?
Go hug.
No, he need to come over there and hug her. Mr. Brown, that's your daughter. That's your daughter.
Sorry. You gonna forgive me?
I forgave you a long time ago, Dad.
When the truth presents itself in all of its beautiful color in the courtroom, let's acknowledge it for everything it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Scott, welcome back.
How you doing?
Now, you previously appeared in this court, and it was determined that you now have 7 children by 4 women.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here today denying you fathered the defendant, Miss Kahlon's 4-month-old daughter,
Yes,
Ezra,
Your
and
Honor.
today's paternity results will clear your name.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Miss Kahlon, you claim the plaintiff was excited when he found out you were pregnant, but then only a few months before you gave birth, Mr. Scott disappeared.
Number,
You
everything.
argue that the only reason he's denying your baby is because you've since learned he was in another relationship.
Plenty of 'em, I've
the
heard.
entire time you were together.
That's not true.
Ms.
I wasn't-
Kahlon,
that's
your
not true.
counterclaim
It's
to
not true, though. I
Mr.
wasn't in a
Scott's
relationship when I was
petition
with her.
for a paternity test is for $2,260 for child care expenses and repayment of loans. Now, Mr. Scott,
Yes,
please share with the court how you ended up in a relationship with the defendant.
Well, Your Honor, start off with, we met online. We chatted for about 3 weeks. I'll say 3 weeks to a month, something like that. So she came to visit me. She came to my city. She came to visit me. We hung out. We spent time. We had a nice time that night. No big deal. It was nice. It was nice. She went to sleep. I happened to go through her phone. I went through her phone.
On the first night, you guys had a date?
Yeah, well, the reason why I went through your phone, the reason why I went through your phone is because her phone.
He had no reason to go through my phone.
Her phone didn't ring all day,
My
so I got
daughter, my
suspicious.
kids.
So you felt like since her phone didn't ring,
Yeah, something was fishy.
something was up. Maybe
Yeah,
she
something
had it
was
on
fishy.
silent
Something was
or-
fishy. So she went to sleep, and she had a passcode on her phone. So as I'm looking at, as the day goes on, their progress, I looked at my peripheral and how she did it. So I got her password.
Oh, wow.
I got her.
See, and you know why he does
Inspector
this?
Gadget.
Yeah, because I had trust issues. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I had trust issues due
Okay.
to what had happened to
Go
me in my
figure.
previous
But
relationships.
we
So-
learned the last
so I
time
went
you
through
were
her-
in
I went through
court
her
that you
phone.
were
Yeah.
married and you were sleeping with all different women.
I wasn't even
now why
married.
you care
I was
so much?
divorced.
Thank you, right.
Why you keep talking
Right.
about that? I was
Go
divorced.
ahead and continue.
So I went through her phone, and prior to us being together, conversating, conversing, I see that she had other text messages from other men.
But you weren't in a committed relationship, right?
Yeah.
No, not at that time. No, at the time of upon of her arrival.
No, see, that's
Upon
why
her
he's
arrival-
stuttering,
Women you
because
don't
it's
even
lies.
know. Who am I married
upon
to?
her
Who am I
arrival,
committed
upon her
to?
arrival, we was together.
I didn't
upon
have
her
nothing to
arrival,
hide.
we was
I didn't need
together.
to hide
But
nothing.
then she also admitted to me,
Come
like
on
she
now.
said, that she was supposed to have a sexual encounter with another dude, but she said he couldn't perform. So that's what she admitted to me. She admitted this to me.
Okay, so what you're saying to me is,
So it doesn't even make
oh, well, you discovered information
Yes.
you really didn't want to know, meaning that she had other partners at the same time.
Does
So
he
this
got
is what
proof?
The
fuels
reason
your
why-
doubt.
Has he got proof? No.
Yeah, I have proof. My eyes. My
Yeah.
eyes is the proof right there.
For
At
real.
some point, despite the text messages and the I Spy and everything else, you all were intimate because
Yes,
there
we
is
were.
a
It was
child in
good too.
question.
Yeah, it was
Plenty
good.
of time.
Wait. Now, I just need you to give me the relevant facts. I don't need to know that. Now,
Yes, we were.
so you
intimate.
were intimate.
Yes, we were.
Okay.
Yes, we were.
But you felt like she was intimate with other people during the same
Yes.
time frame.
Exactly.
No.
Yes.
So now, Ms. Kahlon, I got to
Exactly.
come to you. What do you have to say about his accusations?
He is a lie. I think he believes his own lies. For real. I mean, this is like crazy.
I don't have to lie.
I don't
so
know where
how
he's
did
getting
it
all
go
of this.
down for you?
Okay, so I met him on the internet site, a dating site. I didn't pursue him. He pursued me. Okay, let's get that straight.
Yeah, I did get at her. She was a
And-
nice
and-
white.
okay.
I mean, she was pretty,
And-
man.
and-
A thick white girl. She was pretty.
Okay.
Mr.
Well-
Scott.
She was pretty.
Okay,
was
so I
pretty.
mean, we're talking
Okay,
for not
she still
3
is
weeks.
pretty. I
It
never
wasn't
said she
3
wasn't.
weeks.
Of
It was
course I
months.
pursued her. She
Okay,
likes
Okay.
I didn't go just jump off and go see him.
Yeah, you
We
did.
was talking for months,
Okay.
back and forth.
It's like
email.
3 weeks.
And, you know, I paid for my trips to go out there. Never paid for nothing. I paid when we wasn't at his mother's house. We went to the motels.
Yes,
okay?
true.
Never met nobody in his family. Okay. Yes, I did get pregnant.
And the reason why you didn't meet nobody because I had my
The
suspicions from the first time. The only reason why you kept
So
coming
you're
because
saying, Ms. Kahlon, that you
The only
got
reason why you kept
pregnant
coming
the
because you kept
very
calling.
first time
Yes.
you visited him?
Yes. Yes.
the very first time.
Very first
She's
time.
saying
we
she
had
got
sex a
pregnant
good
the
5
first time
times,
she
so.
came to visit.
Obviously,
For real,
I'm-
I mean, don't get it twisted. We had sex a good 5 times that night. Yes. So I mean, don't
Okay.
let him
Yet
don't let him sit here and play the
another
role.
fact I
I'm
didn't
playing the
know.
role, man. I
okay.
took you. I
Right.
never said that. I
Right.
took you down. Yeah, I did. I took her down. I
Moving
took
on.
her down. I took her
me
down.
down.
I took her
can't.
down. Yes, I did. And I put her to
Mr.
sleep.
Scott.
She went to sleep. I
sleep.
went through her
Mr.
phone.
Scott, wait, now I'm starting to believe this was part of your scheme or plan to get to her phone, taking her
obviously.
down
No, that's
so you
not
could
what-
get to her phone. We established previously that you had a wife or ex-wife, whatever you
Ex-wife.
like to admit to, during the time in which you were sleeping with that person as well as
This person and that person.
Yes.
Girls, only 2
That's
girls.
sad.
Don't be adding other people.
That's crazy.
Don't add other people.
I mean, you got
And
like,
you're telling me that you're the person with the trust issues.
I'm a very smart man. You know what I mean? I look for signs, not seen the signs. That's what it was.
Signs that he
if I
takes
call you at 12
notes
o'clock
from
at night,
himself.
if I call you at 12 o'clock at night, not once, not twice, not 3, not 4, and you don't answer the phone, something's wrong.
somebody's
And then
sleeping.
call, and
But
then
maybe
stay awake all night.
you can't call me the next. You cannot call me the
now,
next
what the
day
hell?
at 11:30 and say I was asleep. So you mean to tell me that you was asleep for 14 hours?
I'm supposed to just jump
You-
every time he calls?
Yes.
Come on, no.
Yes.
I don't think so.
If I'm
Yeah.
calling you, yes, you are. If I'm calling you, yes, you are. You call me any other time. Every time you call me, I answer the phone.
What was your proof? What else do you have?
Okay, I went through her phone. There was
we got
pictures
that.
of other men's male parts. Okay?
For real?
Pictures of other male parts. And it was another, she was like, well, I'm finna go to Lancaster to visit a friend, a family
And she
member.
did it like that?
Pictures
No,
of
that-
male,
and
other
then-
people's male
the
parts.
guy
Are you
responds
serious?
like, I mean, the guy
my
says,
kids
well,
would play with my phone, Your Honor. There was nothing like that in my phone.
but it was pictures of you all in lingerie and all this stuff
Lingerie?
inside your phone, though,
You got
right?
those two?
But you look, there it is right there, huh?
That's not
You know what I
lingerie.
mean?
You call that
So,
lingerie?
Mr.
Yeah, man,
Scott,
you
you
don't do that.
submitted this evidence to the court.
Yeah.
You were
These
supposed
are
to
the
be my man.
pictures.
I was sending you something to keep you
I never
happy being
received
a
that
long-distance
picture.
relationship.
You
Are
didn't
you
get that
serious?
picture.
I never received that picture.
That's one of the first pictures I sent you.
Who
I don't
takes
take
pictures
pictures like
in
that, Your Honor.
lingerie
Come on now. Never.
in positions that was
Never.
uncalled for
Never.
inside
no.
Motel 6.
In-
Are you-
And it was
inside of a
Motel 6. Yes,
motel.
it was.
Okay,
And it was a
Motel
weekly
6.
Motel 6 because they had the whole entertainment system inside the motel.
Yeah,
it was the
wait a
whole
minute.
thing.
So you know that firsthand?
Of course, man. I mean, everybody knows what the motel looked like. You know, if you're going in for the motel for one day, you got the
you.
little
He
bitty
knows
desk.
what
If it's in there for the whole week, you got the whole. She had Subway cups up there, Newports.
I
She
don't
had
smoke
DVD
Newports, baby
players
boy.
with
I don't
Marlboro Reds.
smoke Newports.
Marlboro
That's
Reds.
where you got me.
Mr.
mixed up.
Scott.
You know.
Let's get some order. Let's get some order. You saying her motel room had all of the extended stay features.
Yeah.
So, Miss Kahlon, were you in love with Mr. Scott? Let me ask you something. Were you in love with
I wouldn't
Mr.
say it was
Scott?
love. On the internet site that I met him on, he wanted basically the same things I was looking for. You know, he
Yes,
was
of course.
family. He said he was family oriented.
Of course I am. I take care of all my kids, but how am I gonna have a family with a girl that's already texting other dudes? If you knew that you was feeling me and you was committed to me, like, oh, I'm feeling him, I'm not gonna talk to these dudes. I'm not gonna even.
I
have
would
to
come
do-
down and
the-
see him almost every weekend. How
True.
was that not feeling you or
True.
be
But
into
at
our
the same
relationship?
time, there was other dudes
You
talking
would
about,
hide me-
I'm going to
every
Lancaster
time I
to
went
visit
down
my
there, I
friend.
never met
And he
nobody.
says, oh, I can't wait to see you when you come back. Oh, I miss you too. Why? I'm not your friend. If I'm your dude, I'm your man.
Let
Yeah,
me
you
get
are.
this portion straight. Miss Kahlon, now you're in a sort of relationship, and you are coming to
would-
see him regularly. You're investing in the relationship,
yes.
right? However, every time she comes, you still in her phone.
She only came like maybe four times.
About 6.
Okay.
I don't remember 6 times. I remember
Okay.
maybe 3 or 4 times.
But
'cause the
what I'm
first time she
saying
came,
is, you're looking at her phone every time she comes
Yes,
to visit
'cause the
you, and
first
you're
time she came-
noticing that there's always still conversations with other men that it seems like she's in a relationship with.
it was always something about a dude. Always something about a dude, and then the first time it was about
Well,
a dude,
did
and
you
then the next time it was about
continue to be
lingerie.
intimate with her anyway, even after you saw all of this?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So, Ms. Kahlon, you find out you're pregnant.
Uh-huh.
You immediately know.
And now, no, hold on, Your Honor. Prior to this,
She didn't even know. I
after
told
I
her.
left the first
I
time,
told her she was
he
pregnant.
told me, he said, I bet you're pregnant.
Yeah, I told
like
her
jinxing
that.
me.
Because she's sick. That's what she said.
Yes,
She called me and said,
yes.
you jinxed me. I said, well, you sick, you throwing up. Like, come on, you got kids. You know, come on. I said, you're pregnant. And then we're supposed to
Never
name the
had
baby.
no
If the baby's
sicknesses
mine,
with
why the
any of
baby
my
don't
kids.
have my last name? It's the
Because
same thing.
he wasn't there. He
Why
like
wasn't I
disappeared.
there?
Why am I going to put you on the birth
Because I had my
certificate?
reasons
All right,
and my
you ain't
doubts.
even
Give
there.
me this information. I need this testimony. Ms.
she would've
Kahlon,
never,
you
ever
said
had
you let
text
him know
messages
you're
when we were going
pregnant.
through this.
Yes.
And then what?
He was happy. He said,
yeah,
quote unquote, oh, mommy, we're going to be a family. See, yeah, that was the nickname.
And did you want to be a family with him?
I mean, it was what it was. I wasn't sure if that's what I
What
wanted.
was
He
it?
wanted me to move to.
Wait, you said it was what it was. What
I
was
mean,
it?
I said,
I just met him not long before that.
said,
You know,
I'm not
I was
finna move
kind
to
of like
Sacramento,
blurry
man.
about it
That
myself.
weird
You know,
city.
who does that? Who gets pregnant the first time they go see somebody?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't know if that's what I wanted. I told him that plenty of times. You know, I don't know. You know, if you're gonna be there. You know, I don't want to have a
If the
baby
baby
and
was
raise it
mine,
again
how come the baby
by
ain't got my
myself,
last name?
you
The
know?
baby don't even
Because
look
he
like none of
wasn't
my
even-
other kids.
The baby don't look like none of your. You told me the baby looks like you, Marcia.
Man.
It's okay. Can we just read the
She
results?
was about to call me another name. You see what I'm saying?
I was.
She was about to call
You
me
know,
another name.
Let's get to the results. Let's get to the results.
Oh, we're going to get to the results very shortly. But first, I want to get to your arbitration. Ms. Kahlon, you're countersuing the plaintiff for $2,260 in baby expenses and loans. You sent him money. How much money did you send him?
Altogether, maybe $400 or $500.
Okay. The money she sent you, was it a loan?
No, no, no,
Yes, it was
no.
a loan.
No, it wasn't no loan. Why did I get a loan from her? I mean, I worked
You
at the
act
time.
like
I didn't-
I'm speaking blasphemy. I just
No,
asked,
it
was
not
it a loan?
Yeah.
No, it was not a loan. Not
Okay,
at all.
what
Loan.
was it?
I said I needed it, and she
And
gave it to me
what
every
was
other
me taking
day.
care of somebody that obviously couldn't take care of herself?
All right.
I never said that.
Do you have any receipts at all from what you sent him?
I do.
Now, is this for the loan or is this for your baby expenses?
Both.
Both? I see here you have receipts for the money you sent,
Makeup receipts.
totaling $580, baby expenses, diapers, wipes, formula, clothing. Sounds like everything you need to take care of a baby. You have the evidence showing that you wired him money to help him or to loan it per your testimony. The problem is you don't have any written evidence that shows that it was in fact a loan and that he agreed to repay the money. This is just a little fact going forward, a legal tip. If you're gonna loan money, get something in writing. Unfortunately, I cannot award you that money for those expenses. Are we ready for the results?
Yes.
Jerome, if you can hand me the envelope. Can I say something, Your Honor, before you read the results?
Are you going to tell me what you're hoping for?
I just pray and hope for the good results.
What are good results for you?
If she's my baby. That's my daughter. I'm gonna take care of her. If it's not, then I wish her the best. You know what I mean? I'm not the type. I take care of all my kids. It don't matter how many I have. I take care of them all.
Ms. Kahlon,
You better get
I'm
a
there.
job.
I'm there.
do you have any doubts?
I got 2
and what do
jobs.
you want?
I don't have no
No,
doubts.
I got
I
two
don't have
any
no
jobs.
doubts.
And what do you want?
I want him to take care of his responsibilities. I didn't
course,
make her
no
by
problem.
myself. I'm not going to raise her by myself.
You ain't. We gotta change her name too, though.
You got to change her name.
I hope
That's
she
so
doesn't
big.
have to spend her childhood listen to you all bicker.
For real.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics. In the case of Scott versus Kahlon, as it pertains to 4-month-old Ezra Edwards, Mr. Scott, you are not the father.
I apologize. I could be woman enough to apologize and keep it moving.
I guess my assumptions was right. Do the best
That's
you
good.
can to find that
I'm gonna-
baby's father. She
Oh, I
deserves a
think
father.
you're stuttering now. Something has finally made
She don't
him
need a father.
speechless. So, what do you feel? What do you
wanna know
feel?
why I'm so speechless?
What do you feel?
You want me to tell you why I'm so speechless?
wanna know.
Because this woman was so confident and she was so persistent to
Hey.
do everything that needed to be done to see if that was my baby, and
That's
it's
right.
not even my child.
Why not?
I could see the confidence
Yeah.
on your face. Like you really thought
Yeah.
he was indeed
I mean,
the
it's
father.
it's nothing.
Do you have
No,
any
I know.
idea?
No, I was only with one other dude before him. He died though. He was shot.
I'm sorry to hear this.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I just want to say to you, if you indeed feel as if you want to get a paternity test, a DNA test done, it is possible to still do that and confirm the paternity of your child, even though this gentleman is deceased. Only you know
Right.
who you were with. But what this court stands for is making sure children are able to know
Right.
who their parents are, who they belong to, who's responsible
How
for
come she
them.
didn't notify and tell me none of this stuff about the
Because
other
I wasn't
dude?
with you.
Instead of me
Marcel,
assuming
you
it.
knew. You just said you knew. You found text messages and pictures of him.
You should
got
have
his
like, yep,
number.
you're right.
Why
I
didn't
took
you
him-
call?
you
Why
should-
didn't you call?
I did call him. He
I
denied
explained it. What?
He denied it.
Look, I need to say something to you before court is adjourned, because this has been decided. The science has decided it. I'm almost afraid to ask. You know, when you practice law and you become a lawyer, they always say,
Uh-oh.
don't ask a question you don't know the answer to.
No, I don't
But
want
as
my
a
kids.
judge, we must. I'm not going to see you in this courtroom again.
You
No,
probably
I'm
will.
not.
You probably will.
No, you won't. You probably would. No, you
You
won't.
probably will.
No,
All right.
No, you won't. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank
you for the
you
results.
so much. Ms. Kahlon, the best of luck to you and your child. Court is adjourned.